Namaskaram, Adab, Sat Shri Akal, hello, welcome to all, my dear friends, my dear masters, my dear gods, to yet another wonderful episode of Spiritual Glossary where we learn about words. And today's word is really amazing, my dear friends. The word for today's episode of Spiritual Glossary is Antahkarana. And what is this Antahkarana all about? And we listen to this word when the politicians take the oaths, or maybe somewhere in a book, or somewhere in Bhagavad Gita, maybe you have read about this word, Antahkarana. So today's word for this episode of Spiritual Glossary is Antahkarana, my dear friends. And let us understand what is Antahkarana. So let us go ahead without any further delay, my dear friends. The Antahkarana is the psychic electrical line which connects the physical senses within each plane and also the senses between different planes. It is, in a sense, the power of the self to control and direct senses and be aware of their records or registrations. The Antahkarana is the path or bridge between the higher mind and the lower mind, serving as a medium of communication between the two. It is built by the aspirant himself. It is threefold: the conscious thread anchored in the brain, the life thread anchored in the heart, and the creative thread anchored in the throat, more commonly called as the rainbow bridge. The second thread comes from the soul and anchors itself in the brain, and this is the part of the Antahkarana which gives man consciousness. And this cord is called the consciousness thread and is the lower part of the main Antahkarana, which bridges the gap between the mental unit and the mental permanent atom. The Antahkarana thus links the personality with the monad because it bridges the highest aspect of personality, the mental unit, and the lowest aspect of the spiritual triad, the higher mind, via the manasic permanent atom found on the first subplane of the mental plane. The Antahkarana is this subtle line of communication between the bodies, the soul, and the spiritual triad. In a sense, the Antahkarana is the evolving human soul who slowly bridges from one vehicle to another and eventually reaches the soul and then the monad. Antahkarana means bridge, my dear friends, the inner organ or mind. It is the agent of continuity of consciousness. We have three main threads. The first one is called the life thread, the second one is called the consciousness thread or the Antahkarana, and the third one is called the creative thread. The life thread passes through all vehicles and unifies them as a whole. The consciousness thread at the present is built between the mental unit and the mental permanent atom and is related to the etheric brain and to the three glands in the head. The creative thread relates to the following, my dear friends. The first one is the heart center, spleen, etheric permanent atom and the petals of sacrifice. And the second is the solar plexus, which is the heart, astral permanent atom and love petals. And the third is the Agnya center, the head center and knowledge petals. And thus, the whole Antahkarana is a 5-pointed star with 5 threads unifying the monad and all its vehicles in expression. The life thread passes through all permanent atoms and makes the vehicles of the human soul a unity. But the human soul is not yet awake in all the planes of his present and future vehicles. The Antahkarana is a thread of consciousness in the human soul, constructed step by step as the man awakens on the higher and higher planes, linking the planes with the continuity of awareness. Isn't that wonderful, my dear friends? Learning and understanding about this beautiful word called Antahkarana. This particular word has been excerpted from the following books, which is The Psyche and Psychism, New Dimensions in Healing, The Science of Meditation, Cosmic Shocks, and The Science of Becoming Oneself, written by Torkom Saraydarian. So here you are, my dear friends. This is today's word for this episode of Spiritual Glossary. I'll see you again next time. Till then, keep watching PMC English, do meditation regularly and stay on plant-based food. Thank you so much. Namaste.